Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you've ever felt that absolute sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach when staring down a rigid, overly complex grammar test, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're cracking the LanguageCert exam. And honestly, what makes this test so fascinating and, frankly, a massive breath of fresh air is that it prizes real-life application over memorizing a bunch of dusty grammar rules. We're going to break down exactly what this exam is, how it works, and most importantly, hand you the playbook to actually succeed.
There's this quote that just brilliantly hits the nail on the head regarding the core philosophy of this test. It goes, LanguageCert is not about perfect English, it's about effective communication. Think about that for a second. How much of our test-taking anxiety comes from the sheer terror of making one tiny, insignificant error? By prioritizing your ability to actually be understood over the need to be flawlessly perfect, LanguageCert completely lowers the stakes. It's basically asking, hey, can you survive and thrive in the real world, instead of, are you a walking dictionary?
So here is our quick roadmap for today. 1. Welcome to LanguageCert. 2. Understanding the levels. 3. The 4 core modules. 4. Real-world sample questions. And 5. How to crack the exam. Let's jump right in. Welcome to LanguageCert. Right, so what actually is LanguageCert? Well, it's an international English qualification that aligns directly with the CEFR. That's the Common European Framework of Reference. But here is the absolute biggest takeaway for you. Unlike standard, theory-heavy exams where you might have to parse some bizarre sentence you'd literally never use in real life, this test is entirely built around real-world interaction. It's all about how you communicate when you're, say, studying abroad, working in a busy office, or just navigating a brand new city.
Moving on to Section 2, Understanding the Levels.
Okay, this framework is divided into 3 main tiers. At the beginner level, A1 and A2, we're talking basic survival English. You know, introducing yourself, ordering food, the absolute essentials. Then we step up to the intermediate level, B1 and B2. Now, B2, that is often the golden ticket. If your goal is getting into a university or getting your foot in the door at a new job, B2 proves you're ready for daily communication and work-study environments. Finally, we reach the advanced tier, C1 and C2. C1 shows a really strong professional command of the language, while C2, that's your near-native mastery. So knowing exactly where you need to be on this chart is absolutely your first step to targeted preparation.
Section 3, the 4 core modules.
First up, we've got the listening module. Here, they're testing your ability to understand everyday conversations, public announcements, and people's opinions. You're going to face multiple choice questions, matching speakers to their opinions, or maybe filling in some missing info. But listen, here is a crucial pro tip for you. Do not panic if you miss a word. I really mean it. Trying to understand every single syllable is a total trap. Instead, kind of zoom out, right? Focus on the key words and the overall meaning. If you just catch the general drift of the conversation, I promise you, you'll find the right answer.
Next is the reading module. Notice the recurring theme here, real-world texts. You are not going to be reading 18th century poetry. You're reading emails, articles, and everyday advertisements. You'll need to match headings, answer multiple choice questions, or fill in some gaps. And the absolute best way to handle this? Read the questions before you read the text. It sounds so simple, but it is a massive time-saving tactic. It basically transforms you from a passive reader into an active detective, so you're only scanning for the specific information you actually need. Then we have the writing module. This is where you'll be writing essays, or if you're at the higher levels, full-on reports. They're checking for clear communication, grammar, and vocabulary. But here's the thing, and this is absolutely vital. Structure matters so much more than fancy words. Seriously, you could use the most complex $10 vocabulary words in the English language, but if your essay is a disorganized mess, you are not going to score well. A clean, logical 3-part structure, an intro, your main points, and a clear conclusion is going to serve you infinitely better.
And the 4th pillar is the speaking module. This tests your fluency, your pronunciation, and how well you actually interact in a dialogue. You'll answer personal questions, engage in discussions, and maybe even do a little role play. Now, listen closely to this pro tip. Keep speaking. Freezing up is your absolute worst enemy in this section. If you stumble on a word, just brush past it and keep going. Awkward silence is always worse than making a small grammatical mistake. They just want to see that you can keep a conversation alive, exactly like you would at a coffee shop or a business meeting.
Section 4, Real-World Sample Questions.
Okay, imagine you sit down for the speaking module, and the examiner looks at you and asks, "Do you think technology is making people less social?"
Just pause for a second. How would you answer that right now? They might follow up by asking if online friendships can ever replace real ones, or how communication has changed recently, or what the actual advantages of social media are. Notice how none of these are trick questions? They're just genuine conversation starters about modern life. Or consider a problem-solving task. The situation is, your city wants to reduce traffic. Discuss solutions. You absolutely do not need a degree in urban planning to answer this. You can pull ideas straight from your own daily life. You could talk about improving public transport, maybe creating car-free zones, or even bringing up work-from-home policies. This brilliantly illustrates just how practical these scenarios really are. If you have an opinion on the world around you, you already have the material you need to pass this test.
For the writing module, you might see a prompt exactly like this. Some people believe universities should focus only on academic subjects, while others think practical skills are more important. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Now, this challenges you to balance two very realistic perspectives. You just have to acknowledge both sides logically and then assert a clear, well-supported opinion. And remember, use that simple introduction body conclusion framework we talked about earlier.
Section 5. How to crack the exam. All right, here are your 5 crucial steps to success. Step 1. Understand the format. A surprising number of people fail simply because they just don't know the time limits or the question types. Practice with the official portal beforehand. Step 2. Improve your vocabulary smartly. Don't go memorizing the dictionary. Learn topic-based phrases around subjects like education, the environment, or technology. Step 3. Practice speaking daily. Yes, even if you're totally alone. Record yourself answering random questions on your phone. I know it feels a little awkward at first, but it is incredibly effective for building real fluency. Step 4. Master that writing template. Paraphrase the question in your intro, make 2 or 3 clear points in the body, and state your opinion in the conclusion. And finally, Step 5. Time management. Do not let yourself get stuck on a single difficult question. Move on, and just return to it later if you have time. Knowing the format and managing your time is literally half the battle won.
I want to leave you with this final thought. If effective communication equals success, how will you share your ideas with the world? Remember, the LanguageCert exam isn't some trap designed to catch your grammatical flaws. It's a platform to showcase your ability to actually connect with other human beings. Clear expression, even if you make a few small mistakes along the way, is your ultimate key to passing this exam and, honestly, to thriving in the real world. So get out there, structure your thoughts, and keep speaking.